All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to Comedy in the Park 3. Oh my God. I'm surprised they let us back. I don't know about you. 1 and 2 went great. Might spice up a little more tonight. We'll see. How's everyone doing tonight? Pretty good? That's a good one. Appreciate that. I want to thank everyone for coming out too. This is awesome. I'm so happy we can do this. We're just gonna get right into it. How's everyone's quarantine been? How's the pandemic going, guys? Going good? Anyone make the mistake of going home? I'm assuming not everyone here is from Steamboat. Good answer. Great. We'll keep chugging on. All right. I made the mistake of going home and visiting my family, and I came back with COVID. That was awesome. It's great. But the one great part of that was I got to see all my family. I got to hang out with them. And I got to see my little cousin. She's so beautiful. I love her. She's super hyper, though. It's annoying. So Mama put her on Adderall. She's 7. Our favorite thing to do is play video games. I gave her my N64, and we play Mario Kart. It was kind of weird, though, because she was overly focused last time we played Mario Kart. I'm like, Olivia, what's wrong with you? She pulled a plate out from under the table, and it had just perfect little lines. $1 bill. I was like, what are you doing with that? Give me that plate. I was like, this is horrible. Woo! Let's play some Mario Kart. All right. Oh, come on. You think that's real? Oh, man. Yeah, no, she suffers from hyperactivity. For sure. I hate that word. I hate suffer. There's a reason why. People, when you think of the word suffering, you think of agony and, mental anguish. But most people don't use it that way. It's kind of like just a mild annoyance. Oh, I'm suffering. I suffer from dyslexia. Oh, you mix up your B's and D's? Okay, stupid. Great. That's insulting. That's insulting to Bill. You know, the one-armed, three-toed leper who loses a knuckle every time he tries to get his mail. Right? Just rolls off. If you really suffer from something, like if someone were to tell me, I suffer from a porn addiction, it's like, oh, really? Do you? You better be at Christmas dinner, cranking one out under the table, watching that phone with Mom and Dad and Aunt Betsy, who flew in from Chicago after 12 years. She thinks shoe bombs are a thing still. Just, sitting there giving yourself a little OTP wax job. Oh, God. That's suffering. Kind of. I'm suffering right now. I can feel it. You feel it? I can feel it, guys. Let's spice it up a little more. All right. I suffer from talking to women. Anyone else? Yeah? I had trouble one time. I got on the gondola here in Steamboat. Beautiful Australian girl gets on the gondola with us. I sit down across from her. Everybody sits next to her. I was like, all right, it's great. I'm going to try to hit on her. And immediately I just turned into Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber. What's a lovely accent you have there? New Jersey? She's like, nah, Australia. I'm like, okay. Just gonna look out the window. And I don't know, is anyone here a former smoker or a smoker in that? That guy knows. You tend to cough incessantly. I cough incessantly still, and I haven't smoked in a year. Now, this is what happened. I coughed uncontrollably, just quick one. Nothing crazy, except this one had company, guys. There's a passenger on this flight, and I didn't want him around. I hocked a loogie on this girl's thigh. I watched it shoot out of my mouth and just skid across her snow pants. Horrifying. It was like watching JFK get shot. Oh, my God. She looked at me with just death stare like, you did to me. I'm going to kill you. Yeah, you should. But it actually worked out. We got off the gondola. I asked her on a date. We went on a date. We've been where we dated for about 6 months, and I proposed really early. And, we ended up getting married over quarantine, which was awesome. Wow, you guys are really into it. That's A lie. That loogie skidded off her thigh, and then she ran off the gondola as quick as she could. And so did I. Opposite directions. All right. Anyways, we're going to keep this going. That was my time. So we're going to move on. We got... What? Oh, God. I'm deaf, man. All right, we got a great performer. He's been in the Steamboat Comedy scene from the beginning, actually. Goes by a bunch of different names, but I'll go with his regular one, Mr. Miles Sanchez. Give it up for Miles, everyone.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Isn't this garden cute as hell, right? Super cute, right? Let's just all admire it for a minute, right? Yeah, is that enough admiring? Is it admired enough? Great. I love that. Give it up to Steamboat Comedy, y'all, for, selling out the garden 3 times this summer. This is great. It's great. It's something that I'll have a conversation topic when I talk to Jay-Z. It's like, hey, I played at the Garden. You played at the Garden. It's cool, man. It's going to be a great conversation starter. I love hip-hop, y'all. I love rap music. It's like probably one of my favorite things. I didn't actually get into comedy because I like telling jokes. I got into comedy so I could tell my friends from high school that I'm a rapper and I can do cool hip-hop poses like this and get, pictures taken like... Can someone actually get some pictures? I gotta send these home. All right, Reed, how much time do I have left?
Got about 9 minutes there, bud.
Shit! I was really hoping those hip-hop poses would take up, a lot more of my time. Oh, all right, yeah. So, I miss karaoke. Honestly, guys, I miss going to bars. I miss karaoke, mostly for all those hip-hop jokes I just told earlier. I get to pretend to be a rapper for, a night. And then just like Cinderella, I lose my, Nike Air Force One and, go back home and just be a cook. It's fine. Don't worry. Dreams don't need to come true all the time. But it's cool, I miss karaoke, but I mostly miss karaoke because... my neighbors decided to get a karaoke machine. And I'm honestly not mad. Not for real. It was kind of cute at first. Oh, it's cool. They're playing Nirvana. Oh, it's cool. Is that the Cranberries? And then one night after work, getting home, and then at 3 a.m., I heard Creed. Not only did I hear Creed, I heard Creed back to back. They went higher right into Arms Wide Open. I did not like that. There are rules, guys. There are rules even in the karaoke world. No one does Creed, and no one does Creed back to back. You don't do it. Hate my neighbors now. They're the worst. But as much as I hate my neighbors, I hate my roommate even more. He's literally the worst because I have a dog and my roommate has a dog, which means it's like a step kid, except... it's like being a step-parent, except you don't like the spouse either. So I just don't get how it really should work. But his dog is just so stupid. I can't stand it. His dog is stupid, and it has a stupid name. My roommate's dog's name is Absalom. I just want let that sink in for a second. Absalom. It's not so bad when you hear it 1 or 2 times, 5 seconds apart. But when you hear it all the time, you start to just wonder, what the fuck does that mean? I want to know what it means, but I don't want to Google it to even give this dude the satisfaction that I care that much. I don't. It's just stupid. And I hear it all the time, Absalom! Absalom, get out of the kitchen! Absalom, come back! Absalom 1! Absalom 2! The counting, y'all. We're at the counting stage. Counting stage is stupid. Because he gets to 3, right? You know what happens when he gets to 3, audience? Nothing happens. He keeps doing whatever the worst, dude. And his dog tried to pick a fight with my dog one time, and my dog's pretty gangster. I mean, I found my dog on death row, all right? He was on death row when I found him, all right? He's been to jail, all right? He was in the pound when I got him, but he fixed himself, now he's a good functioning black lab member of society, man. Like, he's great. And also, guys, black labs matter. I want y'all to know, all right? For sure. Black labs are also the best labs. I don't care what you say. Chocolate labs are dumb. Yellow labs are dumb. Black labs, best ones. Y'all are cheering because you know it's right. Anyways, so, yeah, my dog and his dog got into it for a second, and, all right, here's the whole thing with dog fights, Like, I'm gonna break it up, for sure, but I'm gonna give it a second, like, I'm gonna see if they can work it out amongst themselves, But also sometimes, like, it's really cool to see my dog beat that ass. I'm just saying, like, he's gotten his ass beat before. I'm not saying, like, I was a little depressed. I was like, man, I thought he was going to do better than that. But, sometimes you're just really proud of your dog. Like, hey, man, you stuck through it. You got out of it. You were on top. All right, my man. But you don't get a participation trophy or anything. Don't worry, guys. I'm not Michael Vick, all right? I don't condone violence or anything, so. Anyways, Reed, what's my time now?
Got about 4:20 there, bud.
4:20. Oh, that's my favorite number, though. All right. Well, anyways, on that note, though, I don't really feel like getting any overtime today, so I'm just going to cut it there, y'all. If y'all are cool with that, I'm tired. Just got off work. I'm going to go home. So, anyways, you guys have been great. Thank you so much. I'm Miles Sanchez. I'm out of here, y'all. Thank you.
All right, let's keep it going from Michael Vick. Miles Sanchez here. That was awesome. All right, we're going to keep this thing rolling. We're going to have another comedian come up. He's also been in Steamboat Comedy for a while. Where are you at? Let's give it up for Spencer, who's on a camera. I don't even think he hears me. Spencer, can you hear me? Are you listening? Hey, buddy. Look through the camera at me. Hey, bud. Spencer. Oh, my gosh. You're up, dude.
I know. I had to swap the battery out.
As you can see, he's also our technical director, keeping all the video going for now. You better run, dude. Start jogging or something. I don't want to see you sweat.
Still got 10 seconds there, Jared.
Thank you. What's my time now?
Oh, man, you're at 8 seconds.
All right, give it up for Spencer Powell, guys.
All right, who here works for the mountain? Like, who here works for Ski Corps? Ski Corps employees, make some noise. Right? Yeah, winter's coming up. It's right around the corner. Like, we're going to be back soon. Can you believe it? You know what my favorite part is the orientation. You guys looking forward to that? Because it's like you're being brought into a cult almost. They like bring you in and you watch 8 hours of videos where they're like, they pound it into your head. They say, remember guys, the only question that matters, there is only one question that matters in this universe. Screw your friends, screw your family, you are not special. The only question that matters is on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you recommend Steamboat to a friend? and they trick you into filling out these surveys. They'll host barbecues at the employee housing. And they'll be like, all right, you poor pieces of shit, gather around. We got hot dogs, we got burgers, and look, we got this pile of surveys. And right there, you'll see the only question that matters. It's the only question that matters. It's on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you recommend Steamboat to a friend? And another thing they sell us on is the Steamboat Dream. You guys hear that term before? The Steamboat Dream. They have these meetings and they're like, what does the steamboat dream mean to you? And one guy's like, steamboat dream to me is just shredding gnar and fresh Powell with all my best buds. And they're like, great, welcome. That dream is coming true. The next guy is like, I want to live in a 3-bedroom house with a yard. And they're like, get yourself 7 roommates and that can certainly happen. Absolutely. And the next guy's like, I want to start a family. And they're like, get out of here. No, you're insane. Get out of here. What are you thinking? No. What? Good luck getting your real estate license with those dreads, you dirty wook. So, I've been filling out these applications, right? Because I need to get a job. You know, I was filling one out the other day, and it's like race. I'm like white. It's like sex, male. I was doing really well. Am I a disabled veteran? No, I got all my limbs. I was kicking ass, right? And then I get to the questionnaire portion where it's like, you have to answer on a scale of 1 to 5, you know, strongly disagree, strongly agree. And the question was worded as, I always treat customers the way they are meant to be treated. And I had to think about it. I was like, well, I did slap that kid once. So yes, strongly agree. 5, big 5. Absolutely. I mean, the kid was mouthing off. He was hammered. Like, I pour stiff doubles. I'm good at my job. That's what I do. I worked in restaurants for a number of years in customer service. And, you know, being a waiter is basically like being a slave, but with direct deposit. You know, because, I mean, think about it. If somebody came up to you and they're like, hey, I'll give you this $5 if you'll be my bitch for the next 45 minutes. You'd be like, no, keep the 5. But then, like, 5 other people are like, hey, we'll also give you $5 to be our bitch. And it's like, whoa, do the math. Okay, this is, all right. I'll be all your bitches, okay? But just please understand that because I'm trying to be all your bitches at once, it's going to be kind of hard to get everything out in a timely order, all right? And they're like, yeah, we understand, let's do it. Like, all right, cool. 15 minutes later, they're like, oh my gosh, is our waiter is he being a bitch for someone else right now? What's going on? I'm keeping my $5. Put it right back in my pocket and leave a little nasty note. It wasn't being a bitch hard enough for us. But no, I used to be a cab driver, which, you know, I was really worried when I got into this line of work that this job would drive me insane, because cab driving is known for pretty much just that. You know, it's like, hey, have you ever seen the movie Taxi Driver? No, but let me guess, it's about a taxi driver who loses his mind and murders people. How did you know? Because the movie's called Taxi Driver, obviously. There's nothing else that movie's going to be about. But, you know, what I realized, and what kind of brought me peace in driving taxi, is that, yeah, I'm a little nuts, but, like, so are all of you. Like, all of you. Like, you're all insane. Like everybody's crazy. Just some people are better at hiding it than others. But when you drive cab, like, the mask comes off. People, they don't think that you're a real person. You might as well just be a figment of their imagination. So they'll be completely normal. They'll be like, bye Carrie, bye Steve, I'll see y'all at work tomorrow. All right, get home safe. And then they get in the cab and they're like, all right, dude, I'll give you $50 if you drive past my ex-girlfriend's house. Drive real slow. I just want to make sure that she is where she says she is. But people all the time, you know, people would always be like, you know, you should work the cab driving stuff into your comedy, like the stories from driving cab. I'm like, no, because none of it's funny. You know, like, I'll tell a story and be like, yeah, this one time, this couple, they come out, they're dressed all sexy, it's a late night at the bars, they come in, they sit in my cab, and the girl's like, hey, cab driver, I think you're cute. And then the guy just starts beating the crap out of her. That's how they all go. That's cab driving stories. Yeah, that Taxi Cab Confessions on HBO, that's contrived. That's not the real experience. You know, I had somebody try to commit suicide by jumping in front of my cab 3 times. 3 separate occasions. The first time it was just some frat guy whose girlfriend who had just broken up with him, and he just like sprawls out in the middle of the road in front of my cab, and he's like, Jessica, I love you. I'll show you how much I love you once this taxi cab drives over my face. Oh, I love you so much, Jessica. And it was kind of anticlimactic. I just kind of drove 5 miles an hour around him. And he's just like, oh, I didn't get the right angle. The second time, this guy tried to stiff me. He said he didn't have any money. He was drunk as shit. You know, he's like, oh, I didn't know I was going to have to pay for this. I thought my friend, was going to pay for it. And I was like, okay, open up your wallet. Prove it. You open up your wallet. It's completely empty. I'll let you go. But if there's money in there, I'm taking it. And so he kind of like showed me. He's like, He finally produces his wallet, opens it up. There's a fresh 20. I pluck it out. I'm like, thank you. Thank you for being honest. Now get out of my cab. But he felt so undignified, I guess, that he felt like he could retake his dignity from me by playing goalie as I took a U-turn out of the parking lot. He's just like, if you want out of this place, you're going to have to get vehicular manslaughter. You're going to have to go to jail. I don't care if it kills me. And luckily the guy was out of shape because he was the worst goalie I've ever seen. Because I came in and I swerved left. I like juked him. I did like a Barry Sanders move in my car. So he went like this and just kind of like the soccer players that just jumped the wrong way. That's what he did. He just jumped, and then I went around him, and I was free, and it was great. The third time was a little more scary. It was kind of terrifying. So I was coming under an overpass, and some guy just kind of like Terminator walks out from under one of the support columns and just walks right in front of my car. And luckily I dodged it, and that got the adrenaline going. I was like, holy crap, just barely missed the guy. And the people in the back were like, holy cow, I can't believe you did that. I was like, yeah, right? That was amazing. That was so awesome. So I turned back around, and there's all these police cars and ambulances, and sorry. Anyway, so I see the guy, he's laying in the middle of the road, he's dead, and there's a windshield busted out of this truck. And I see these people, they're talking to the police, and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this just happened, he just came out of nowhere, and the police are writing the report, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, holy cow, that could have been me. But I've been driving a cab for a while at this point, so it's actually more like, oh my gosh, that could have been me. Like, dang, that could have been me. Like, oh. But anyway, I'm sorry, that was kind of, I need to get kind of serious for a second, because the mountain's about to open, we're about to get up there, we're going to be shredding gnar again. So I want to tell you the story about one of my old friends who I worked with up here on Steamboat. And remember I was talking about the Steamboat dream? Well, he lived the Steamboat nightmare. He hit a kid on a snowboard, going 60 miles an hour, smoked him, sent him straight to the hospital. It wrecked his life. He was so out of sorts for weeks. I remember walking in, he had like a Lego reconstruction of the mountain, and he was like, I was coming down at this angle, then he came in, and his trajectory, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. He kept saying it. He couldn't wrap his brain around it. It wasn't my fault. And then one day he told me the story of how it went down. He was riding into work, and he was bombing straight down. The kid came out of nowhere, hit him on the side, boom. Sent him flying. The kid's knocked out immediately. My friend gets a concussion. He like crawls up. He's like, oh my gosh, what have I done? The kid's mom was like, oh my gosh, what have you done to my child? Or except she was skiing, so it was more like, oh my gosh, what have you done to my child? And ski patrol, they come down, they're just bombing. They're all bombers. They're just, hitting jumps like, whoosh. Everybody, get out of the way. Make space. Make space. So they approach the kid. They're like, everybody stand back. Everybody stand back. They get down. They're like, all right, kid. All right. Yeah. How many fingers am I holding up? Okay, good. Okay. Do you know where you are right now? Okay. Okay, good. Good. Now this next question is really important. You might say, this is the only question that matters. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely will you recommend Steamboat to a friend? A kid gave us a 6. Can you believe it? Little punk. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great winter.
All right, let's keep it going for Spencer, everyone. That was awesome. We're going to keep this rolling. If you guys have ever seen Steamboat Comedy before, or if you're brand new, we got our fearless leader, Mr. Kyle Ruff, coming up now. Let's give it up for Kyle, everyone.
All right. Thank you guys so much for coming on tonight. This is great, right? Did you guys see the wedding photos going on in the background? It's a good thing that wedding photos don't record noise, or else they'd have to live with dick jokes in their photos for the rest of their lives. Jesus. Speaking of a joke, who here watched the debates? The presidential debates? What a disaster. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. Of course, by train wreck, I mean angry pedophiles with dementia, and by in slow motion, I mean pumped full of Adderall and shouting incoherently. I watched that whole thing, and I can't tell you who won, but I can definitely tell you who lost. Me. I felt like a loser. I actually took time out of my day to do that. The whole time I was like, I could be doing something productive, like reading a book or smashing my genitals with a hammer. You know, something good for me. But this election, it's got everyone acting crazy. It's kind of nuts. And even way back in February, this is a true story, we were setting up an open mic at the Barley downtown. And these two young ladies, they come up to me before the show, and they say, hey, we want to come to the comedy show later, but our mom's going to be with us, and she's very sensitive to Trump. She can't handle Trump. I said, is he here somewhere? Like, this doesn't look like a golf course, but they said, no. She just really hates Trump. She can't stand anything that's pro-Trump. She'll freak out. Are you pro-Trump? Is your comedy pro-Trump? My comedy pro-Trump? No, but I won't lie. I didn't even think that was an option. Have you ever seen a Republican comedian? I don't think I've seen a conservative tell jokes since Larry the Cable Guy was doing Zantac commercials in 2006. So she's like, oh, well, yeah, we'll try to come back later, I guess. And I said, all right, get her done. They didn't come. So, with all this election stuff going on, I know everyone's got opinions and no one wants to hear it, so here's mine. Here's who I think you should vote for, okay? I think with all the crazy things going on right now and the way the last 6 months have gone, I think the best course of action is to stick with the current leadership. The current leadership. Yes, that's right. That's why I'm voting for the coronavirus. 4 more years of coronavirus. 4 more years. 4 more years. Right, I mean, Donald Trump's the president, but the coronavirus is who's in charge. COVID-19's dictating policy, and I gotta say, it's been working out better for me than any Democrat or Republican ever has. Bernie Sanders has been trying to bribe me with free stuff for 20 years. Big Rona got it done in a couple of months. I'm playing Xbox and making bank, right? But I know you're thinking, but Kyle, we can't vote for the coronavirus. The coronavirus is dangerous. Well, for one,
COVID-19 has a couple million more deaths to go before it's the most dangerous public official, right? That's a history book joke right there. And 2, it's not dangerous for me. I'm young and healthy. Right now, the median age of death from coronavirus is higher than the median age of death. That's right. COVID-19 is tearing through nursing homes faster than STDs are tearing through nursing homes. Oh, STIs, excuse me. That's the most unrealistic part of this whole premise. They're infections. But really, we all know what they're doing in those nursing homes. I mean, why not? When you drop grandma off at the old folks' home, she's just clocking back into one giant, continuous, slow motion orgy. It's like a frat party with more pills and less condoms. I mean, really, you're not going to get a baby out of whatever's left of grandma's dried up old uterus, are you? And grandpa's money shot, it looks like a paleontologist blowing the dust off a 2,000-year-old petrified slug. That's not going to get it done. Anyways. But we don't have to worry about these pandemic problems. We live here in Steamboat. It's paradise in the middle of nowhere, right? Who here is from Steamboat? Raise your hand from Steamboat. All right, yeah, got a lot of locals. Thanks for coming out. Who's from out of town then? I guess I could just do math and subtract. Good enough. A few people didn't raise your hand. I assume you just live in an airport somewhere. That's fine. But I've noticed a few things about Steamboat. I've been living here for a while. So you locals, let me know if any of this rings true, okay? So a couple things I've noticed about Steamboat. 1, everybody in this town owns a dog. Right? Yeah, we all know it's true. Which is fine by me. I love dogs. My name's Ruff. Get real. Come on. I come from a long line of dog farmers. I just made that up. That's not true. But the weird thing about all the dogs is that everybody's dog in this town has a human name. You ever notice that? You go to the dog park, it's like, come here, Russell. Oh, fetch, Dominic. It's like more human than the actual people's names. I met this guy the other day. He's like, hi, my name's Dakota, and this is my dog, Steve. Like, you know that's not a person, right? Which brings me to my next observation, which is, have you ever seen a town with more 40 and 50-year-old bachelors in it? So it's like Neverland. You have to grow up here. I was talking to my buddy Greg the other day. There he is. He's like, one of these days, man, I think I'm going to settle down, maybe get like a wife and kids, get a house with a white picket fence and all this. I said, that's great, Greg, but you're 47 years old. I think someday was several days ago. Actually, how old are you, Greg? You 47?
Shut up!
That's a yes.
Easy habit.
So, the third thing, though. Steamboat's a great place to live, and one of the reasons why is there's basically no crime here. It's so safe. The cops are basically just around to protect us from wild animals. And yes, that includes Texans. But really, though, the only time I've heard of a officer discharging his weapon in this town was last summer. There was this giant black bear, and he was roaming around downtown everyone's trash, and eventually they cornered him, and they took him out. Yeah, it's a shame. I felt bad, and I know they got a tough job, but you can't help but wonder, would they have pulled that trigger if it was a polar bear? Black bears matter, you guys. At least that's what the protesters told me the next day. Just kidding. There's no protest. There's no race controversy in Steamboat. Steamboat is the whitest town in America. We have all the racial diversity of a Ted Nugent concert here. Steamboat is so white. Steamboat is whiter than the BYU marching band. Steamboat is whiter than serial killer podcasts. Steamboat is whiter than a Wonder Bread factory. I can keep going. Steamboat is whiter than low sodium Triscuits. Steamboat is wider than a TBS 24-hour Big Bang Theory marathon. Oh, but I'll move on. I don't like talking about the races and the ethnicities and such because people are sensitive to it these days. You know, I don't want to offend anybody. But one time I wrote this really great joke, and it got me in some trouble. My girlfriend at the time got mad at me, but so I'll give you the premise of the joke. So the joke is about going bald, right? Because you can't be surprised that you're going bald. All you have to do is like look around your family, right? Like, well, my dad's going bald, my brother's going bald, my uncles are going bald. My grandpa's going bald. My mom's going bald. Well, I guess that's the chemo, but still, you get it. And so, she's fine. Calm down. So I like to think that somewhere, though, out there, there's a little adopted kids, and they just look like, you know, that guy you went to high school with who just got that crap roll of dice genetically. He's, like, completely bald at 13. You know what I'm talking about? Already looking at, like Woody Allen in his 30s, right? And so there's a couple of these little adopted boys, and they're looking around their family powwow, and they're seeing all this beautiful hair. And he goes to his uncle, and he goes, "Uncle, how come me and my brother Benny don't have hair like everyone else here?" And his uncle leans down and he says, "I'm sorry, little one. Although you will always be part of the Navajo Nation, you were adopted, and we'll never have our long, luxurious hair." And the little kid goes, "Oh, shucks. Well, I still love you, Uncle Running Bear." Says, "I love you too," shines on top. "Now grab your brother, Burns and Son." I love that joke. I won't apologize for it. But my girlfriend at the time, I told her I was making a joke about Native Americans. She got all worried because she thinks that I might be prejudiced. And I'll tell you why. So we used to live in a Native American reservation in Montana, right? And one time I went to a bar there, and a Native American gentleman kicked my ass. Now, you see, I called him a pussy, but it turns out he wasn't one. But what she doesn't understand is that I've lived all kinds of places, and I've gotten my ass kicked by all kinds of people. I hate everyone equally. 4 more years of coronavirus! 4 more years! 4 more years! Thank you very much. I'm Kyle Ruff. Thank you for coming out.
All right, let's keep it going for Darth Ruff over here. That was awesome. Before we get to our headliner, I just want to throw out a few announcements. We are going to have another show in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today. It's going to be at the Snow Bowl, and we're actually going to have some New York comedians come in. We're going to have Comedy Central's Sean Patton come in. I don't know if anyone knows him. He's pretty awesome. Check him out. And his girlfriend is going to be there, too. She's... So come check that show out. And we're also going to start doing some open mics at the Press. Hopefully soon. We don't have that fully ironed out yet, but we're going to have it coming soon. So, yeah, I'm getting there. SteamboatComedy.com, Instagram, Facebook. You can find everything on there. But without further ado, let's get to our headliner. Coming in from Breckenridge, Mr. Pat Treuer. Let's give it up for Pat Treuer, guys. Steamboat Comedy! All right! Yeah, we're doing it! We're out here! This is crazy here.
Let's say I've been taking a couple notes during the show. I'm going to start with you, sir, in the blue hat. Excellent mask etiquette until the tortilla chips are out. I was like, wow, this guy is not taking the mask off. Like, you give Hannibal Lecter a good run, and then those tortilla chips come out. Senor Tortilla is your name for the show, sir. We got, my favorite reference here. Guys, thank you very much for coming. Remind me of Charlie and Chocolate Factory, all the grandparents that they were from Nebraska. Uncle Joe had a knee strap. It's terrific. Fantastic. Best scooter I've ever seen. Did you get that on an app? Surgery. So it's temporary? Best looking temporary handicapped woman I've ever seen. Yeah, we had the wedding shoot going on. We also had the two trolls with the red cups coming out of the forest. This is what you call alcoholics. Well, I just find if I pour vodka in the solo cup, the adventures come to me. That wedding, 50-50 as they all are, right? It's a coin toss. Oh, man, the weddings. I got a new policy. If it's not an open bar, don't bother sending me a $25 invitation. A save the date? Why don't you send me $10 with a sticky note and a magnet that I can put on my refrigerator that says, throw this money away. I got to go to your wedding and pay $10 a cocktail? Beer and wine. Okay, Pat, that's enough. As the missus would say, I forgot my podium. I'm Pat, really happy to be here. Thank you everyone for coming. This is really wonderful, huh? This is outdoor comedy. Did we think this was going to happen? It's great. Hey, we talked about a lot of negative things tonight, haven't we? By the way, Jared had COVID last month, so we're all good there, okay? Yeah, so it's all right. If he can survive, we can survive. Most of us. Mark Masters came up from Denver. Give it up for Mark. Best part about Mark said is that he was so conscious about not touching hands and the microphone was planted on his face the whole time. You ever wondered what if Big Bird was a pigeon who had a meth problem? That's I'm just kidding. I look like Barbra Streisand and Will Ferrell had a one-night stand and Bird the 38-year-old man boy who's still going through puberty. It's true. The dads here, coolest beards I've ever seen, both you guys. Awesome. Really cool. You, sir, you look like you're one manifesto away from sending care packages to government employees. All jokes. All jokes. Let's talk about the positives of this year. All right. First, I know if anybody visits. Let's start with the Starbucks just over here. How amazing is it that we have arrows to follow? Right? Because I hate when people are on top of me. We got this. We got the screens. We got the hand sanitizer all over. Why didn't we have this before? Why didn't we have any of this before? It's amazing. We don't have to hang out with people. Who here has evaluated who they want to be friends with when you start hanging out again? I've made more virtual friends than I've kept real friends. Got a couple dudes on the internet. I want to invite them over, but I know they're going to be like, what happened to Pat? Well, he met someone on the internet, and he invited him over. Oh, boy, the old lookalikes. The missus and I had the celebrity crush conversation. And top of her list, Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, all right. Great choice, which made me feel awesome. You know, because I look like Matthew McConaughey's underdeveloped brother who swallows beehives. It gets worse. Oh, so this year, we were in Chicago. I lived in Chicago the past 4 years. And the missus moved in with me. And we bought a Roomba. We've named it Winston. We got an air fryer as well. So as some of you know, that completes our master's certificate in being white. If you're not familiar with the master's certificate in being white, it's a 20% off coupon from Bed Bath & Beyond. Framed in a frame that you got at Bed Bath & Beyond. 20% coupon gets us every time. Why are we willing to pay so much money? It's because there's no website, peopleofbedbathandbeyond.com. We don't want to end up on the other one. Peopleofwalmart.com. Time to scratch that joke, Pat. You got to explain it into the pond. Yeah, so she moved in with me. And do we have any live-in couples besides the married ones? Who lives together? Living in sin. Oh, right there. Oh, yeah. How long you guys been living together? A year. 1 year. What have you learned about each other in the year?
Passes out on the toilet.
Jody, what did you learn about him? What's the one thing that you didn't anticipate before you moved in?
He has
Way better cooking skills.
Said air fryer.
Oh, the air fryer is amazing, isn't it? Air fryers are incredible. Yeah. So this sounds like it's going to be, I'd say 50-50, you guys are going to succeed. I learned that I'm dating a blanket thief. Anyone else have a partner that just steals the blanket in the middle of the night? No one? Well, lucky me. Yeah, this happened, and I couldn't get sleep. I wake up in the middle of the night, and she'd take the blankets. That's her, right over there. And then one day, I was like, I got to do something about this. We were doing the at-home weights, and I noticed she was struggling to lift more than 15 pounds. So I got on the old Amazon and ordered a 20-pound weighted blanket. She tried to lift 17. She's like, I think I want to lift more weight. I said, no, you don't want those disgusting arms. Oh, yeah. Kyle was talking about crime. There's non-existent up here, which is so awesome, right? How lucky are we, Colorado? Born and raised in Colorado. I moved to Chicago for comedy. And we're going to keep this PG-13. So this was my introduction to Chicago. I met two females out at a bar. You remember those days? And I invited them back to the old house to play a game of Connect 3. And I woke up the next day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon wearing nothing but a bicycle helmet and a robe. And looked around and, well, they had robbed me. Yeah. 4 out of 6 colognes they stole. 6 is too many, I agree. They left 2, which I was like, all right, that's it. They stole a very nice watch. They stole everything except for my credit cards. My ID. They took all the credit cards. Walmart and Target. The thieves always go there, right? It's got to be half their business. $8,000 they racked up. I didn't have to pay it, credit cards did. And the second introduction to Chicago with a nice local lady was that she had what we now call a pre-existing condition, which she chose not to disclose to me prior to certain relations. We're all clear, don't worry. Okay? So, when I was living in Colorado, I would meet a girl, and my first question was always, do you ski or do you snowboard? But now, after living in Chicago, my first question is, do you have an STD or plans to rob me? If yeah, let me buy you a drink. And how am I doing on time here?
About halfway through.
Oh, fantastic! All right, this year's taught me to not take things for granted, and I had to learn that the hard way. I realized when the old pandemic hit that I really took access to public restrooms for granted. So we were in Chicago, and we would go for walks, right? Get out, you got to get your exercise. And we quickly learned that all the public restrooms were closed. And so what we would do every morning to get our exercise, and so we wouldn't be interrupted by unwelcome number 2, is we would do what we call the doo-doo dance. This is 2 adults. This is real. This is not made up. Okay? And sing along if you know it. The doo-doo dance, so you don't poo your pants. The doo-doo dance, why don't you give it a chance? The doo-doo dance. And that's what you do. And you push real hard. You flush the system. You go for a walk. Well, on the weekends is when we go for like our 7-8 mile walks. And it's a beautiful day in Chicago. And we're going for a 8-mile walk. No public restrooms. All of a sudden, off Lake Michigan, this big storm cloud comes and just this metaphysical experience. All of a sudden, at the same time as I see the cloud and hear the thunder, uh-oh. We got a problem. I was like, we got to turn around, bub. We got to turn around right now. She's like, what's wrong? I was like, I don't think this is going to be good. And we are 3.5 miles away from my house. And we were kind of weird about getting in Ubers. So we're walking, right? And it's, you know that feeling? You know, where it's like, I'm an adult, and I might not make it to the bathroom. You clench hard, which shortens your stride quite a bit. 3.5 miles is about 7 miles when you're walking like this. And I was like, we're about a mile from the house, and the missus is saying, she's pep talking me. You know, she's saying, you're an adult human being. You go to the bathroom in the toilet. You do not. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to make it. I'm going to have to go behind one of the dumpsters. This is not, like my voice is trembling just like it is now. It's like, I'm just questioning who I am as a human being. We get to my building in what we think is going to be a successful return home. And I get in the elevator, and my body knows, and we've got like flood control, like the main dam breaker, it's breaking, okay? And we get to the door, and would you ever play the game like, oh no, a serial killer is gonna get me? I gotta get the keys to the door to unlock it real quick. Now play the game that you just had to walk 3 miles when you're about to just rip hell out of your backside. And I go in, and I get into the bathroom, and you think the angels are gonna come down. No. My body said to me, Pat Treuer, you have one opportunity to get your pants down and also get the toilet seat up. The cover was down. You have one shot, Pat. And I totally missed my shot. Okay? I sat down, the toilet seat didn't make it up. I want you to imagine a jet ski going through the mud with like a F-850 engine in it. And I didn't know it was possible. And I started whimpering, and she couldn't have been any sweeter about this, Are you okay in there? What can I bring you? I said, yes, I need the yellow gloves, I need the trash can, and I need the 2 rolls of paper towels. Never have I wanted a shower so bad. Right? I feel like if you watch Chernobyl, the guy is spraying down the nuclear fallout. I just wanted them to spray me down. That's the climax of the story. That took a lot for me to admit. Yeah. So I took public restrooms for granted. Anyone else take anything for granted? No, life's perfect for everybody. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Drew, I knew that. Yeah. Oh, we got about 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Well, enough of a grown man talking about how he still doesn't know how to use a toilet. I want to just tell one story here, and then I want to get out of here. But before I do, I just want to point out Kyle and Steamboat Comedy. Great work again, Kyle. Thank you so much. This has been terrific. It's a lot of work putting these shows together, and Kyle, you rocked it, man. Great job. And all the comedians. Give it up for all the comedians that you saw so far. And I'm going to leave you on this story here. This is from my working days in the corporate world, and this was my first job. We had HR training, right? So it was a global organization, and we had to go through. And I was just out of college, and we had 3 days of, all right, HR. This is what you do. This is what you don't do. Well, we had Mr. Lee, the employee from the China office, was part of our training. I had never met anyone from China, and this was very exciting to me. Wow, Mr. Lee from China. Mr. Lee's a super quiet guy, very quiet. And every morning I'd say, Mr. Lee, good morning. Hey, Mr. Lee, would you like to get some lunch with me? Nothing. The HR instructor, female, would call on Mr. Lee in class. Mr. Lee, what do you have to say? That's it. Third day, we're wrapping up, and we're watching situational videos. Okay, so a situation unfolds. The HR instructor would pause the video and say, okay, class, what's the proper course of action here? And the video we're watching, she says, here we go. The video is 2 female employees working in a factory, and there's a man also in the factory who keeps looking at them. They go into the break room, and they say, I just can't stand how Bill stares at us all day. And the owner says, I know. With those elevator eyes, up and down all day. It is the worst, right? And so HR pauses the video. Okay, class, what's the proper course of action here? Mr. Lee raises his hand. HR woman is ecstatic. Yes, Mr. Lee, what's the proper course of action here? Mr. Lee says, yes, next time a Bill should wear sunglasses. Is that it? That was the real answer. When you think about it, right? Like, we never hear about sexual harassment in China, right? Think about like board meetings just look like the final table at the World Series of Poker. The HR woman had to excuse herself because she was laughing so hard. I fell out of my chair because I was cracking up hysterically. And, well, that's the end of the story right there. So. All right, everybody. My name's Matt Treuer. This has been a lot of fun. Give it up for your host, Jared. He's been doing a good job. Thank you very much for your time.
All right. Thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate it. Give it up for you. Thank you for coming out. Give it up for all the comedians. Give it up for Drew. Hell, why not? Give it up for this pizza. All right. Yeah, thank you for coming out. We do have a donation box if you feel like throwing some stuff in there. We have some shirts for sale, too. If not, don't worry about it. It's all good. Like I said, we have a show coming up at the Snow Bowl with Sean Patton. And please come to that. I guarantee you it'll be funny. Otherwise, y'all have a good night. And thank you for coming out. We really appreciate it.